along with his assistant Harry Gregg. Well, Macari and Gregg were dismissed because it was said that they couldn't get on with one another. But the fans have been collecting a petition to get Macari his job back. Well, the club have promised a statement this week.
It was just over 6 months ago that Lou Macari and Harry Gregg joined Swindon. It was a partnership which was to turn sour. Gregg and Macari failed to get along. Indeed, some club officials say they found it difficult to even talk to each other. The wages were paid by a Swindon insurance company in a deal said to be worth over £100,000. The Swindon public was stunned by their Thursday night sacking. John Trollope took over the helm for Saturday's game against Southend, which was interrupted by constant pitch invasions and chanting, all asking for Macari's reinstatement. Now, Swindon won 2-0, and it's only today that the true story is starting to come out. It appears the rift between Macari and Gregg started when Macari found a private diary, allegedly being kept by Gregg. This angered him, but even today the club are keeping their lips sealed about the incident. At the very least, they feel it's a major embarrassment, and I understand there's a chance Macari might be reinstated. So why sack him in the first place?
We took that decision, however, being in full knowledge of all of the facts that were available to us, and bearing in mind that this had been going on for some weeks and even months, we felt that we were left with no alternative other than to relieve both of them of their responsibilities because of their inability to work together, and also of the failure of the manager to arrive at an answer himself.
When you say answer, I assume you're meaning there to actually sack his assistant manager?
Something along those lines, yes, obviously.
But we are hearing stories today about, for example, Harry Gregg keeping a diary on the comings and goings of Lou Macari. Now, is that true, and is that part and parcel of the whole dilemma?
I think it would be extremely unfair for me to comment on many of the happenings that took place at the county ground, except to say that, yes, we obviously found them extremely strange as well.
And can you comment about the diary?
No, I can't comment about that, Ian, I'm afraid.
Well, one event for your diary takes place tomorrow when Swindon directors will have to decide whether to bring Macari back. There's a feeling the 4-3 vote to sack Macari last Thursday could be reversed, but Macari is saying nothing from his Swindon home. Well, Lou Macari is refusing to comment to the media today about his dismissal, although he did give me the courtesy of an interview and did explain some of the finer details. And he ended by asking me to pass on a message to the directors of Swindon Town, and that is quite simply, when they meet at tomorrow's board meeting, he would like his job back.
The sacking of the former international player has outraged supporters, and today they handed in a 1,500 signature petition to the club chairman before the team left for tonight's game at Chesterfield.
Lou Macari, a former Manchester United and Scotland player, joined the 4th Division club last summer. Both his wages and those of the assistant manager Harry Gregg were to be part of a £150,000 sponsorship deal attracted by Macari's international reputation. But a clash of personalities developed between the two managers. It came to a head recently when the two were not even talking to one another. The board of directors told Macari to sort it out, but he couldn't, and last week the board sacked both men. While Macari watched Saturday's game from the stands, angry fans demonstrated outside demanding his reinstatement by Chairman Brian Hillier. Today, a hastily organised action group handed in a 1,500 signature petition to show the strength of support for Macari among both fans and players.
Everyone was rather incensed at the departure of the manager. There's obviously a lot of difficult circumstances surrounding the decision to remove him, but quite frankly, nothing has been said by the club which we feel necessitated this action being taken.
The manager, in his wisdom, wanted to tackle the problem himself. Obviously, a manager is in full charge of all of the backroom staff, and he felt that the decision would be best left with him, and we feel that he failed to take any action.
But is it really a thing to sack a man for?
Well, obviously, we felt, on consideration of all the facts, that it was the only right thing that we could do in the interest of the football club, because I think perhaps what we were questioning was the man's ability to manage.
Lou Macari declined to be interviewed today, fearing that it might aggravate the situation. but he said he'd been very happy at the club and he was very upset about the sacking. When asked about the row between him and his deputy, he said it was not a clash of personalities, it was an argument about who should make final decisions. One of the sponsors' directors is also on the Swindon board, and the row could not only split the club, but also threaten the vital £150,000 sponsorship deal.
Obviously there has to be a risk because they ventured into football in the hope that by supporting the football club with this type of appointment as manager, that this would turn the fortunes of the football club, and obviously this has now rather backfired on them, and I have every sympathy for them.
And yet you're prepared to take that risk by sacking your manager?
Well, I think as directors we have a responsibility to manage, and obviously we sat down and arrived at an honest decision as the best way we could.
The success of a club depends upon those that go through the turnstiles, and if those people have made their views known, as they have, then I see no disgrace in any board taking a